Welcome back to Predicting the NFL with Mickey G. It is yours truly, Mickey G, and we are getting ready for Championship Sunday. That is right, folks. Championship Sunday, one of the most exciting Sundays of the year. Probably the second most exciting Sunday of the year besides Super Bowl Sunday, perhaps. There's also Easter. That's a pretty good Sunday. Last week, we went 2-2 in the divisional round. Jared Goof had one of his goofiest performances of all time. Jersey game incorrect. The Eagles did successfully beat the Rams, thanks in part to the snow and the inability to stop Saquon Barkley. Now, total on the season, we are 180-102. All the special games stay the same except for the Jersey games. Teams are now 11-9, and I am 10-10 in my picks. Overall, in the divisional round, I am 9-11. So maybe that's good luck for Sean McDermott this week. And that was the first Jersey game, so that, of course, stuff stays the same. Now 970 and 636. And all time for the Jersey games, we are 22-18. Teams are 22-18, and I am 16-22. So I mentioned a little bit already, but the Bills, they beat the Ravens. There's a lot of talk this week. People are like, oh, the Ravens should have won that one. They should have won that one. Lamar had so many yards. Yes, but he also had so many turnovers. And so did Mark Andrews. He sold a lot. A lot of people hating on Andrews because his mistakes were in the second half, whereas Lamar's were in the first half and is what put them in the hole in the first place. Also, even if Andrews catches that two-point conversion, there's still 1:30 left on the clock. And I think we've all seen Josh Allen go down the field and get in at least field goal range in 1:30 before. So everyone needs to relax when they're like, with that catch or, things like that, then the Ravens would have won that one. Dude, they weren't winning that football game. It was not happening. That is not what changed how the game went. The turnovers, the complete lack of holding on to the football is what changed that game for the Ravens. So that was a team effort loss. So let's calm down a little bit here. Josh Allen owns that fraud. Josh Allen for MVP. The Chiefs beat the Texans. There was penalties in the game that happened. I don't care. The Texans were never winning that football game. Let's be honest with ourselves. Yes, there may have been penalties. Yes, they weren't great calls, but I don't believe they actually changed the outcome of that game. So let's all take a relaxing moment and think about our lives. The Eagles beat the Rams. It was a pretty solid game. Stafford went down there, and then the line on the last 2 or 3 plays just completely collapsed and stopped Stafford from being able to successfully complete a pass and get them into the end zone to tie or take the lead or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly, but the Eagles come away with it, and hugely in part to Saquon Barkley. There's a lot of conversation about Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, who's our MVP? If we weren't such a quarterback, glorifying society, there would be Saquon Barkley MVP, okay? With last year, once they got to the playoffs, the Eagles completely fell apart. The last few games of the season, they looked awful. This year, they get Saquon, and even when the rest of the offense is not grooving, Saquon is there to break a 70-yard touchdown run. Dude has been incredible this year. He has a better MVP case than Lamar, in my personal opinion, and Eagles would not be where they are right now without him. Then there was the shock of the week. I can't say that I was surprised in the outcome of the score. I wasn't surprised in how people played in the game. I expected Jayden Daniels to outperform Jared Goff, and I have receipts to prove it if the people need it. But I thought it was going to be similar to how the Lions beat the Texans earlier in the season, where Goff had 5 interceptions. He goofed all over the place that game, and they still were able to win. Instead, in this one, they were not able to keep it. The Washington offense was just too powerful. They scored too many times, and because of Goof's mistakes, they weren't able to keep up. And that's why the Rams will always have won that trade. Stafford is by far the better player than Goff, even with the other picks that they got. But now with both coordinators leaving, Johnson to the Bears and Glenn to the Jets, who knows if the Lions are going to be able to recoup that. and be back where they were this year after losing those important pieces in their coaching staff. Also, shout out another head coaching hire. The Jags get Liam Cohen. That was Trevor's number one choice. The Jags wanted 1A, 1B, were Johnson and Cohen. They got Cohen. They fired Balky. That's awesome. I'm excited to see who the rest of his staff is going to be and who, of course, the new GM is going to be. But very excited for that. But that's enough about last week. Let's talk about this week and make some predictions. Well, we only have 2 games, obviously. It's Championship Sunday in the AFC. We're going to start off because we always start off there. And the first game is the Bills at the Chiefs. Chiefs have been unstoppable in the playoffs pretty much since Mahomes has got there. They have been, I believe, in the last 8 conference championship games. And obviously, they've already won 3. They're on their way for a 3-peat. They had won a few years before, and then obviously the last 2 years they've won it. So they're obviously the powerhouse to beat. But Josh Allen this year, he's my MVP, if not Saquon. It's Josh Allen. And here's something interesting. The Bills have been able to win football games in 2 ways this year. They've been able to score tons and tons of points, put up numbers, and just outpace the other team with their offense. They've also been able to, as proved last week, is play the similar style of sport that the Chiefs have this year, which is control the clock, force turnovers, don't make mistakes on your own. And that's been huge. And I think that's a big reason why I'm picking the Bills. I hate picking against the Chiefs. They always find a way. And that's just the team culture that does that. It's not the refs. It's not the refs. We're getting rid of that narrative, okay? You can complain about the refs, but if you did everything you would win the football game no matter what. And the Bills already did that earlier this season. And it's tough to beat a great team like this twice. But I think the way that they're playing, I think they can do it. Might be a bold move, might not be the correct move, but I'm taking it anyways, and I think they're going to do it. So, our next and final game is the Jersey game. I've got the Santana Moss. I didn't want to wear the Eagles 2 weeks in a row, and I didn't want to wear the Tyrod again yet. And since I wore a different Washington jersey earlier this season, I'm like, we can bring out the Moss. I don't have a Chiefs. I don't know when I'll get a Chiefs. Maybe next year. Who knows? Might have to, though, because these playoff games, I got to have a Chiefs jersey because they're making it deep. I need an option. Who do I think is going to win this football game? I don't know. I don't have a great read on this game. But what it's going to come down to for me is I've been counting the Eagles out all season long. My record picking them on the screen currently, awful. One of, I think, 5 teams that I don't have double-digit correct predictions for. Washington, on the other side, I've been doing pretty well. Once I got in the playoffs, I've got those 2 games wrong, but for the most part, I've been pretty solid with how their games are going to go. I think I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think Saquon is doing something really spectacular, and something specifically spectacular for the running back position, which I love. I've always wanted to be a running back. I was never big enough. I was never beefy enough. I was going to put a receiver, play a little quarterback. Never got to really see what I could do at the running back position, but I always wanted to be at the running back position. That was always what I looked up to. MJD was my favorite player. I wanted to be running back. And what Saquon's doing for that position is beautiful to see. There's been a lot of people talking about, are running backs worth it? Can you pay them? Are they worth the money? We had 3 running backs go to new teams this year, and they've done phenomenal. They did phenomenally for those teams. Big contracts for them. We had plenty more, but specifically I'm talking about Josh Jacobs, Saquon, and Derrick Henry. All 3 of those guys went to new teams, and they were worth the money that they paid for. It's hard for me to pick a rookie quarterback to go all the way to the Super Bowl. It's hard to do. You don't see it happen. It doesn't happen. And unfortunately, for Washington, I don't think it's happening here. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I don't like the pick. I didn't want the Eagles to be here. I like Washington more, but rookie quarterback, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And that's what's been holding me back from picking them in this playoffs. Going with the Eagles. That's my predictions. Hopefully, we get them both right. I think it'll be a fun Super Bowl no matter what. And I also think no matter what happens, the AFC team is going to win. That's my big thing right now. I'm very heavily pushing for the AFC side to win. I just think they're the better conference. I think they have been for years. That's all for this week. Thanks for stopping by. Those are the predictions, and I will see you in 2 weeks for Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not predicting the Pro Bowl. I would feel like a bad person if I did that. Won't even watch the Pro Bowl because it's kind of stinks. But that's all, and I'll see you guys next week.